Okay. Well, we'll start going here for a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and mute all for the moment, except for our special guest, which today our topic is going to be player development and online resources. What you can do at home to plan your player development, as well as what resources you can find online to help develop a plan, and et cetera, et cetera. Today, our special guest is Alec McCrae. Alec was one of my players down in San Diego. We'll let him introduce himself later. He currently plays in the American Hockey League. He spent 4 years at Cornell, and graduated from Cornell and moved on to pro hockey, and is battling his way up as a product of the Detroit Red Wings. So, Alec, hello.
Hey guys, hey Larry, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So first off, we're gonna start is player development. How do you make your goals happen? Actually, everyone on this call, you're here for a reason. You want to be a hockey player, and our job as coaches is to create a platform and to educate you, obviously, but it's for you to take the information, bottle it, and then apply it. Use it as you move forward, if that makes sense. And so the best way to do that is for you to create a development, how do I put it? A development plan for yourself individually. Does that make sense? And the reason why I say that is most players get in the car, parent drives them to the rink, they get out of the car, they get their gear on, they go on the ice, they train, they go home, and then when they get home, they may stick in and shoot in the garage because that's fun. But there isn't any other investment in until they get older, until they realize that they have to. And when you get to be 14, 15, 16, 17 years old and you're chasing the dream, you have to or you can't make it. It's that simple. So what can we do today for the players that are 11, 12, 13? What can we change for the players that are 14, 15, 16, 17 that are on this call to help make your goals happen? Self-evaluation. Number one, the biggest thing for making yourself a hockey player is coming up with a realistic self-evaluation. What does that mean? What does a realistic self-evaluation mean? And we're going to do questions and answers later. That's more of a rhetorical question, just so I can get to explaining it. It is, in your mind, how about this? In my mind, I have sick ankles. I have silky hands. I could beat anyone. No, I can't. I can't do any of that. So that's an unrealistic self-evaluation. And so I have to figure out what my skill set is, what my engagement is, where I succeed to make myself the best player. Realistic self-evaluation. Where do I get the information for that? Or where do you get the information for that? You get it from your coaches. Your coaches are going to provide information. You get it from yourself. You get information from yourself. How? Let's say I'm in practice and we're doing a one-on-one drill, and I try the same move. Get stopped. Make a move to the outside, get stopped. Next time I go, I get stopped. Next time I make it to the outside, get stopped. At some point, you're going to have to realize that you have to do something different. And so you have to learn and take the feedback that you're getting from your successes and your failures, and you're going to have to learn from that to create this evaluation of yourself, where I'm at. Maybe it's the inside-outside move is what gets me to succeed. And so you're going to use you. You're going to use your parents. And if your parents have an opinion, you want to hear it. And you want to hear it. You want to hear their feedback. It's important for them to have an opinion because they watch everything you do. Now, they don't get to go through the practices like you do, but they get to watch you and they get to see you make that move to the outside and get stopped every time. And so you have to be willing to be open to their suggestions as well. And one of the biggest teachers out there to come up with this self-evaluation is your peers. And what I mean by that is, let's say you're a defenseman and my D partner is Alec McRae. And I'm in practice and they dump the puck in and Alec goes back, he opens up, he shoulder checks, he goes to the puck and he gives this nice deception as he retrieves the puck. And I'm watching, oh wow, that was a great deceptive move. I'm going to learn from that and I'm going to bring that information back to my player eval and say, I need to be better at retrieving pucks. Because that deception that he used bought him time and space to make the play. Where the deception move I'm using isn't buying me as much time and space as him. So all that information is going to come together and then you're going to create your own self-evaluation. Where do you fit skill-wise? Where do you fit in your execution? Where do you fit in all that stuff? Okay. Now, where else online can you find to help you create this self-evaluation? Okay. Now, throughout this chat, I'm going to use online references and then I'm going to click out and I'm going to do whatnot. I'm going to share my screen right now. Okay. And I'm going to show you just a basic USA Hockey evaluation form. Okay. So this is the basic USA Hockey evaluation form. Okay. And Alec McRae has seen this because he got this from me. Okay. I completed one. And if you've played for me before and you had an exit interview at the end of the year, this is what you got. And it talks about skating and it gives a rank and hands and shooting and your hockey sense and your competitiveness and your toughness and your character. Okay. And then it breaks it down for you. Skating isn't just skating. It's balance, it's mobility, it's quickness, it's speed. And then there's even more facets to that in regards to stride and posture and edge efficiency and recovery. All that stuff is important. Okay. And then, it breaks it all down. This is going to help you come up with your own player evaluation so you know exactly where your weaknesses are and where your strengths are. And that when you go to practice, okay, you get to be aware of that. Now, okay, I'm going to stop this share. I'm going to come back. I'm going to share again. Now I'm going to show you the Hockey Canada eval. Okay. Now that was USA Hockey's eval. Now I'm going to show you a handful of online resources that are going to allow you to learn about the game, learn about evaluating yourself and whatnot. Here's Hockey Canada's, where it breaks up skating and it breaks it up in a lot of different situations. This sheet is great. Okay. And it is great. And everybody can see this, correct? Give me a thumbs up on the camera there. Alec is on your screen. Okay, good. Okay. I just want to make sure that I'm not having any technical difficulties. And this sheet's great. It gives you an opportunity to see where you're at. And then you have to make that conscious quality self-evaluation of what you need to work on. Okay. And there's lots to look at, from shooting, from power, do you shoot for a rebound, how you are on one-on-ones, your checking skill set, your one-on-one defensive play, face off, how your thinking skills are. Do you anticipate plays? Do you try to think one step ahead? Do you line up on face-offs correctly? These are all things that help mold the high-end hockey player. Okay. Do you have leadership qualities? Do you concentrate? Are you determined? All these things add up. They all add up to making a quality high-end hockey player. And when you get to junior hockey, and for the young ladies on the call, when you get to college hockey, there's no junior hockey for the girls. They go straight to college hockey, and there's so many quality hockey players that you need to be able to check as many of these boxes possible. As many of them. You need to cross them all off. I've got that in my repertoire. I've got that skill set. I've got that character, whatever it is. And raise your stock and raise your stock and raise your stock. And here's two sheets that give you a good information to look at. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and get out of this, and I'm going to go ahead and throw the mic at Alec here, and let's hear from Alec a little bit of his path to get to where he's at, because obviously he's playing the level of hockey that pretty much every player on this call wants to be at. So Alec, go ahead and explain your path and maybe some experiences along the way.
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, I want to acknowledge everyone on the call. It shows that you guys want to develop your game and utilize any means necessary. So you guys should be proud of that and your commitment and dedication to be better. But like Coach said, I grew up in San Diego, born and raised, not really a hockey hotbed, but it's definitely changing now. But I grew up in a small suburb called El Cajon and started playing roller hockey actually when I was 8 and switched over to ice when I was 9. And I played for the San Diego Saints in La Mesa, California, up until I was about 12 years old. And then that was a time when I moved up to Larry's organization with the San Diego Junior Gulls. And I began playing for him when I was around 14 years old. We had a pretty good team back then. I think we were playing Band AA, so a lot of good guys, and I still stay in contact with a lot of them. So after that, I stayed with the Gulls until I was about 16, and I was just physically ready at that point to make the jump into junior hockey. So I played in the North American League for the Janesville Jets in Wisconsin. I played a season there, and then I was drafted to Waterloo Blackhawks in USHL, where I played 3 years there. And then from there recruited to Cornell, and after that, I'm fortunate enough to play professionally with Grand Rapids right now. So, but I want to, just listening to a couple of Larry's points early on, I want to kind of rewind my background all the way till I was 14 years old, and I was kind of playing under Larry. So this was a time in my hockey career, my young career, where hockey was serious in my life, but, there were other factors, and I didn't really know the necessary habits that I really needed to take care of to really make it to the next level. And, Larry brought this to our team, this self-evaluation. And that was a real turning point for all of us, because you really got to be honest with yourself first and foremost about where you were in regards to not only like other people's evaluation of you, but your own evaluation for you. And when you guys are filling these out, make sure you guys are, first and foremost, being honest with yourself, but kind of connect with others. And those can be your coaches, those can be your parents, they can be your friends, but connect with other people who are honest with you and who you really trust. And get their guy. And I was growing, like when I was 14 years old, I was still growing. And for me, it was my skating. My skating was below average. That's something that I needed to work on. And luckily I had someone who believed in me, like Larry. He saw my potential as a young player. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I saw potential in myself, but he needed to sit me down and say, hey, the thing holding you back right now from making it to the next level is your skating. That's what you got to address. So just having that conversation with him, allowed me to sit back, fill out that form and say, you know what, I'm going to do everything necessary to work on that part of my game so that I put myself in the best position to get to the next level. And for me, I mean, I had other tools, and I had some good hockey sense, and my work ethic was solid. So for me, it was just finding the time to put in the work necessary to work on my skating. And you know what? That time for me was stick times. And back in the day, I'm sure a lot of you, go to stick times and you guys will play scrimmages against each other for an hour and a half. And I was that guy in the other end working on the fundamentals of skating, and it was boring, and it was, it was tough to see all my buddies at the other end skating and playing, and it was hard. But I knew deep down that that's what I needed, and I knew deep down that it was going to pay off, and I mean, it did. So it all starts with an honest evaluation of yourself, and I mean, you don't have to beat yourself up about it, but seek out those people who you trust and become a student of the game. When I became a student of the game and I wanted to learn as much as I could about the game as a whole and how I could better myself, that I started to make strides. So, but yeah, the first step is using these online resources like that to get you to build a foundation of what you need to be honest with yourself.
Fantastic. Thank you, Alec. I appreciate your feedback. Guys, this is it's a good opportunity not only to hear McCrae's experiences, which he's going to get into some stories a little bit later, You know, some being tough, some obstacles you had to overcome, as well as the successes as well. But, you know, at the end of the day, you guys have your whole hockey future in front of you. And at the end of that hockey day as a youth, you're going to play hockey till you're my age, till you're old, gray. Okay. You're going to play hockey forever because this game is awesome. Okay. The difference is you can prolong your competitive hockey as long as you can if you dedicate yourself, if you put in the time, if you put in the work. And trust me, it is a little bit of work, but once you put in a little bit each day, it's well worth it. Now we're going to go ahead and get into creating. How do we create that plan per se? Okay. And so we're going to talk about some online resources, things you can use, things you can use to help yourself. So we're going to head back to Hockey Canada. This is on Hockey Canada's website. If you hit Hockey Canada, click the link, you're going to follow the player development path. So player development, it pops up. This is every age group from Timbits, which is, you know, let's say that's 6U, and Novice is 8U, and Atom is 10U, and Pee Wee is 12U, and Bantam is 14, and then, you know, Midget is 17 and a half in Canada. They give you a little bit of everything here. And you're going to take this evaluation of yourself, like we talked about. You're gonna take the information that you can find online to learn, so that when you hit the ice, you can focus and develop. That's the key. Okay. So there's some good links here, and age specific, just so you can get to. I'm gonna click on a couple of them here in a minute. Let me see here. What do I have over here? You also can get level specific. These are the skills you should have mastered. Okay. These are the skills you should have mastered by this level. Okay. So this is the Bantam / midget skill set. And it talks from hockey sense, being able to have to be adaptive, having adaptability for different situations, that complex, all the way down to your edges. Okay. You have to master it, and you have to master it all. Now, this sheet, they've got one of these for every age group. You should look at these, look at the different levels, however old you are, and say, okay, this is a good starting point for me to figure out how to start checking the boxes I need to check. Back to this screen here. So that would be your core skills on all these links, the core skills. Now, if I hit the evaluation sheet, the sheet that we looked at earlier was the evaluation sheet. Okay. Now, one other link here, if you get over here, we've got nice, good pathways, nice, good development education. Here is the skating, Hockey Canada's skating basically portfolio in regards to, this is what we need to work on. This is what we need to go for. Now, I didn't even tell you guys the best part about all this. This is a coaching platform. It doesn't matter if the information's for a coach or for a player. It is information that you can learn and you can educate yourself with. And that is the most important thing. Okay. So this is basically teaching a coach. So teaching me how to teach you, but you're going to come on here and you're going to educate yourself, because you don't need the middleman. Because if you only rely on the middleman, you are not going to make your dreams happen. Okay. You have to be accountable. You have to be the one that puts in the time and energy. And there are lots of different things here. Lots of different information you can find online. You know, lots of different things. Okay. And this is just one aspect. Hockey Canada does a great job. Okay. Definitely trumps the USA Hockey information put out. You know, USA Hockey has a handful of great things. USA Hockey's goalie section is way better than the skater section. It's actually better than Hockey Canada's goalie program. But these are different things that you're going to look at online. Now, one more thing here. YouTube. Okay. Sorry, I didn't have this prepped, ready to go yet. YouTube is another great resource. I don't need YouTube movies. I need YouTube. Sorry. There we go. And at the end of the day, let's say we put our evaluation sheet together. We jump on here. These are my watch later videos. I put together this for the goalie session I went through, but I also saved some other things as well, offensive attacks. You could take your evaluation sheet, say, okay, I want to get better at one-on-one play. And you're gonna jump on here and you're gonna say, you know, hockey one-on-one. Oh, boom, and right away it's gonna give you videos to watch. Now I'm not gonna click on these videos because there's lag time in between my screen and your screen. So I had some technical difficulty in my first goalie session. So all in all, you guys are gonna do this research on your own. You're going to have to put it in, but it doesn't matter. It's from a one-on-one or from hockey skating. Oh, it doesn't matter. The resources are here, and there's lots of different videos. There's lots of different things. You know, there was a goalie clip on here earlier that I saw Alex smile at because his buddy Thatcher Demko was on it. That's what that smile was for, I'm sure. But you know, but bottom line is this YouTube thing is a great platform. It is a great online educational platform. It's not the only one. Okay. It's not the only one. Okay. But it is a great platform. Now you're going to take all this information. Okay. And let me see here what time we got. Here, let me go here 1 second. Okay. So just so you guys know, I shoot for right around 35 minutes for these sessions because we don't want anyone losing their attention span. We've got a couple more things that we want to get to before we shut her down. I do want to jump in and ask Alec a couple of questions, and so we can get a real life player that's made it happen. Alec, could you give us the biggest contribution that you had along the way that helped get you to where you're at? Like, was there something that just light bulb came on and said, okay, that was it?
Yeah. So immediately, I take it to my last year of junior hockey with Waterloo in the USHL. I was a captain of a team, but up until that point, I didn't really understand how treating your teammates and bringing them up along with you had so much an effect on your own game. So before then, when I was just a part of the team, everyone's focused on themselves, and obviously you have to be. But there was a real shift in my perspective when I was named captain. I was able to. I almost wanted to give back, and I almost wanted my teammates and my D partner and my line mates to have more success than I would, because I knew that was what the team needed. That's how we would have success. And in doing so, it brought my level of my game to a completely different level. So I watched them intently every single practice. I watched what they were doing. I was almost like a coach in a sense where I was coaching them through my mind. I wasn't necessarily holding them, talking to them about what I was thinking, but in my mind, I was holding myself accountable to those standards that I was going to be the best player at practice that day. And I know for a fact these people around me will follow my lead and focus on the little things. For example, I remember a couple practices where it was our coach wanted us to do just stationary passing. Bend your legs, forehand passes, It's a fundamental skill you learn in mites. We were doing it, I kid you not, for 25 minutes, just passing right back and forth on your forehand. And the coach kept on blowing the whistle and saying, doing it again, do it again, do it again. And everybody was losing interest. And I noticed myself even like, hey, what are we doing? What are we doing? And it was at that moment he pulled me out after practice and said, you know why I did that drill? Because little things are big things. I'll touch more on that later when I get into depth about some things that I learned are going through the stages in the journey. But he mentioned little things are big things. Right then I realized, you know what? No matter what drill you're doing, no matter what skill you're doing, no matter what is asked of you, if you put your full attention, full energy in it, full focus, it will raise people up around you, and you'll get way more out of the experience, not only for yourself, but for others. So I think during that season, I really took a step in my game, and it allowed me to, get recruited to a college like Cornell and be able to step in and play right away. But the act of giving back and caring about just people in the community, in the hockey community, I think, caring about each other and caring about each other's success, I think that's huge.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. Before I get to more questions back to Alec, I'm going to get to finish up with the educational side of it. We talked about self-eval. We talked about online resources, where we can go and what we can find. And there's a lot more out there, even beyond that. We're going to keep it to just that for now. But then you're going to get all this information, and you have to create that chart. You have to create that chart that's going to help you figure out how to get to that next level. And I'm not going to do it for you, but I'm going to show you a start of one. Okay. I'm going to show you a start of one. And it's going to be, the one that you put together is going to be way more complex than this. I just did this 20 minutes before we jumped online here. I jumped on here. I created a list of what I'm going to evaluate myself in. And your list should be much longer than this, obviously. But then I put some things down. Skating, I put posture, edge efficiency, recovery. That's the 3 components that I teach of skating. It gets bigger than that. You're going to talk about stride. You're going to talk about other things as well. But you're going to put your notes down, and you're going to keep this. And then you're going to be aware of it. And you're going to look at it once a week. And before you head to practice, you're going to take a look at it. Not every practice, but every, maybe once a week. And you're going to say, okay, I need to focus on this. I need to focus on that. And then slowly you're going to realize, you're going to hit this and say, man, I do keep my knees bent. I do keep my knees bent. That one's gone. Okay. And you're going to start checking all these boxes. And at the end result of you being able to cross off all these weaknesses that you need is this well-rounded hockey player that you have always dreamed of. You just didn't quite know how to get there. And that's the difference, is create the stepping stones, and then all your hard work will help you get there. Okay. Now I'm going to head back to Alec here real quick. Alec, how important was your off-ice training throughout your career?
I mean, it's everything, and it's still everything. It's the way I look at it is you never really think about it. When I was younger, I was 12, 13 years old. I didn't realize, it was like, oh, the guys playing professionally, they're in their 20s, whatever. But I didn't realize how small of a window that really was. So I started actually off-ice training when I was 13, 14 years old. And it's the importance, like the game's always changing, and everybody's always getting bigger, faster, stronger.
Hold on, Alec. Alec, hold on 1 second. It's having a hard time lagging there.
And if then one.
Oh yeah, you're getting a little lag in the communication through. Go ahead and back to bigger, stronger, faster.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. So the game's always changing. Guys are getting bigger, faster, stronger. And if you don't have the off-ice habits already intact by a young age, then, well, 1, you could get injured. 2, you're already falling way behind. And when I say off-ice habits, it's not only off-ice training, but eating right, getting enough sleep, what you're watching on TV, who you're hanging out with, all that I look at as off-ice training, because there's a lot of factors in your life that actually have a huge impact on your game. So, but it's paramount if you want to succeed in the next level, for sure.
Awesome. Okay, guys. I mean, I think that wraps it up for me a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and send it back to Alec. And if there's a couple points, I told him prior to the call to make some notes in regards to things that could make a difference for you young players. And he'll talk a little bit about that. And then at the end, once he concludes, we're going to open it up for Q&A. So go ahead and think if you have a question for myself or for McCray, and we can do that. Now, there's a way for you to raise your hand, not in a screen, but to raise your hand on the computer. So take a look at that, kind of navigate that if you have a way. I'm not sure exactly how to do it on your side. I know how to do it on my side. Oh, there we go. We've got a thumbs up on one over here from Jonas. Okay, so McCray.
Yeah.
Finish up here.
Okay. Yeah, so like Larry said, he asked me to think about a few things. And these are things that, quite frankly, I have 5 things. And I think about them daily just because all the challenges, all the successes I've been through throughout the past couple of years and moving my way up the ranks, I learned these. And I realized that if I pay attention to this every day, then I'll have success. So the first one I want to talk about is showing up and doing the work. And I think quite simply, if things aren't going your way, show up and do the work. If they are, show up and do the work. If people are criticizing you, show up and do the work. If no one even notices you, show up and do the work. Just keep showing up, doing the work, and leading the way. And I think it goes hand in hand with embracing adversity with open arms. So that's the first one. Show up, do the work, no matter what's happening. Number 2 is be a great person. I touched on it a little bit earlier, but try to lift up those people around you. Show respect to everyone and be there for them when they need you. And you'll notice that when you build relationships around you, you will feel better about yourself and others. So number 3 is a big one for me. I practice it every morning when I wake up and before I go to bed. It's attitude of gratitude every day. Every day is you have to look at it as an opportunity to improve some way. We're all in this virus pandemic together. There's still ways to get better. There's still ways to, like Larry's talking about, online platforms. Utilize them. Like I said, small windows. So try to utilize everything. And, there's going to be some setbacks. Life has its ups and downs, but it's all part of the process and all part of the plan, and everything will work out the way it's supposed to. But be sure that every morning and every night, like I do, I before I go to bed, show gratitude. Right when you wake up, show gratitude for the little things. Like we all have opportunities that we're given that not a lot of people have. So we should be grateful for those. Number 4, I touched on it a little bit earlier. It's little things or big things. Every level I've gone up, I've realized how important the fundamentals of the game are. Like how you train off the ice, your attention to detail on the ice, your coachability, the influxes of the game, like keeping your head up, making crisp passes. Communication's a huge one with teammates. Like all of these are intangibles of the game that are present at every level I played. But what separates them is the pros do the little things better than anybody else. So make sure you guys are practicing and paying attention to those and practicing games. And it's something to easily look over, but I'm telling you, it's definitely present at the higher levels. And the last one is just love the game. Be passionate about what you do and have as much fun as you can every single day, and be creative and work hard and work on things, and don't be afraid to make mistakes, because that's inevitable, and that's how you get better. So there's no better sport in the world, like Larry said earlier. So take advantage of it.
Awesome. Thank you, Alec. Now, real quick, we'll open it up. If there's anyone that has any questions, we can do a little Q&A. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to see a hand go up, but if you have marked your hand up on the screen and you do have a question, go ahead and unmute yourself and shoot away. Looks like we're going to call it a day. Well, thank you very much for coming out, guys. That will conclude the session for the day. And Alec, I'd like to let's thank Alec McCray for coming on. And he's actually in New York right now. He and his girlfriend are out in New York hibernating in the apartment. So thank you very much for coming on and sharing your hockey knowledge.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate everyone having me out. Listen to me.
Absolutely. You guys take care. Have a great day. We'll probably do another one of these here, maybe shoot for one a week. So we'll talk soon. Take care, guys. Have a great day.